The terms logistics and supply chain management are sometimes used interchangeably. Supply chain management, SCM, is the management of the flow of goods and services, involves the movement and storage of raw materials, of work-in-process inventory, and of finished goods from point of origin to point of consumption. Supply chain management, in essence, integrates supply and demand management within and between enterprises.
Supply chains do not remain static. They change in size, form, and arrangement, as well as in how they are coordinated, controlled, and managed. The evolution of supply chain management has been marked by a rising level of integration of various jobs, a trend that was highlighted in the 1960s as a significant area for future efficiency increases since the system was highly fragmented. Although logistics responsibilities have remained largely consistent, they were initially divided into two discrete activities relating to material management and physical distribution during the 1970s and 1980s.
In the 1990s, globalization prompted functional integration and the genuine creation of logistics. All aspects of the supply chain became part of a single management perspective. Recently, the increasing automation of supply chains has been a dominating feature of the growth of both physical distribution and materials management. This digitization is especially noticeable in distribution centers, which have seen a significant push towards automation in areas such as storage, materials processing, and packaging.
Effective supply chain management systems minimize cost, waste, and time in the production cycle. 5 C's of the effective supply chain management of the future states that supply chain have the following features: connected, collaborative, cyber-aware, cognitively enabled, and comprehensive. For increased visibility, the supply chain of the future will need to be nimble, adaptable, efficient, robust, and digitally networked.
Logistics management is the planning, implementation, and control of the efficient, effective forward and reverse flow and storage of goods, services, and related information between the point of origin and the point of consumption in order to meet customer requirements. The role of logistics has developed such that it now plays a major part in the success of many different operations and organizations. In supply chain and logistics management, information and communication systems and technology can play a variety of functions.
Distribution systems were unplanned and unformulated throughout the 1950s and early 1960s. The haulage sector and manufacturers' own account fleets dominated distribution. There was little positive control and no genuine coordination among the many distribution-related functions.
In the 1960s and early 1970s, the concept of physical distribution evolved and recognized that a number of interconnected physical operations, including as transportation, storage, materials handling, and packaging, might be linked together and controlled more effectively. In the 1970s, manufacturers' and suppliers' power declined, whereas major retail's power increased significantly. To supply their stores, the larger retail chains built their own distribution infrastructure, initially based on the concept of regional or local distribution depots. In the 1980s, there was expansion of the third-party distribution service industry was significant, with these firms driving improvements in information and equipment technology.
Advances in information technology enabled corporations to widen their perspectives on the functions that could be merged in the late 1980s and early 1990s. In the 1990s, the integration process was expanded to include not just the important tasks within an organization's own boundaries. By 2000 to 2010, logistics and the supply chain were finally acknowledged as critical to overall corporate success. As a result, the function and relevance of logistics have been acknowledged as a critical enabler for company improvement.
Outsourcing logistics is not a new phenomenon. Transportation and storage were frequently outsourced throughout the 1950s and 1960s. Companies began to prioritize supply chain optimization in the early 1980s, although it was primarily limited to discrete processes within their own businesses.
As a result, the variety of services provided by logistics service providers, LSPs, has expanded. With the introduction of the internet and the growth of global sourcing in the 1990s, the logistics sector launched a new generation of LSPs known as fourth and fifth party logistics. 4PLs and 5PLs.
Industry 4.0 causes disruption and necessitates a rethinking of how organizations build their supply chains. Supply Chain 4.0 profoundly alters the flow of information throughout the supply chain.
Internet of Things, IoT, applications are increasingly being utilized to aid in the administration of customer-managed inventory or vendor-managed inventory. These techniques indicate a supply chain management revolution on par with the just-in-time manufacturing revolution pioneered by Toyota and other companies in the 1960s.
New supply chains emerge and evolve for a variety of reasons. When the COVID-19 epidemic is over, the globe will look quite different.
Many pre-existing trends have been accelerated as a result of the epidemic, and the supply chain is no exception.